Welcome back everyone to Yosemite Valley and welcome back to Planet Zoo. Today with the Cougar Habitat, and we have to talk a little bit about the Cougar Habitat. Now, this thing is maybe the one that has been discussed the most in my planning episode. So if you are not familiar, we had a planning episode before the DLC dropped. So like 1.5 weeks ago. I'm going to link this to the top right so you can check that out if you want to. And we talked a lot about the fact where we want to put the Cougar. I offered you a couple of spots. You guys came up with some great ideas as well. And just before we go in here, you see now which spot I chose. It's the, I splitted the cheetah habitat and I deleted the lynx habitat basically. So I made sure that we do have now a bigger habitat for the cougar. And what I also did is I enlarged the Siberian tiger habitat a little bit on this spot because I want to make a little diving ground for them at a later stage, because big cats can dive now, or at least the Siberian Bengal tigers, both tigers can dive and the jaguar can dive as well. So I wanted to make sure that they will potentially have a diving ground here. Now, back to the cougar. The locations that were up for choice were the actually between the grizzly and the jaguar on the opposite side of Yosemite Valley. This spot over here that finally ended up being the one. And also you guys came up with the great idea of putting them in the Jaguar Canyon or the Jaguar Creek. Now, I love the idea a lot about the Jaguar Creek. However, I think the main reason why I decided against it is the fact that the jaguar is located over there because it's a tropical dome area. And I know why it kind of didn't, tie in so well until now. I thought, you know what, I will have to change the jaguar habitat a little bit. First of all, I will also try to give them a diving opportunity and connect that with the tropical house. However, there's a couple of other things I really need to do. I want to integrate the jaguar a little bit better into the overall habitat of overall dome. So this is why I left it there, because I still want to have the jaguar very close to the tropical houses, because just simply because of the animal, how it is. Now, speaking of the cougar again, the cougar is obviously an animal that is even native to Yosemite, and that means they are very familiar with the overall environment. And so the idea is, again, to give them the possibility to live here in more or less the free nature. So the idea of this habitat is, again, to connect this to the area as if this is just like a little window into the natural environment of Yosemite. So as if they're really living in the wild. Obviously they don't, but this is the idea to at least suggest that, you know. Maybe this is again a conservation station. That could also be a thing, that you always have like some cougars in here to make sure that they're always like healthy and so on, and make sure that they don't have any disease. And then, you know, you would leave them back into the wild, or even help with a repopulation program that you let them get some babies and then, release them back into the wild as soon as they're ready. I don't know if that's a thing, but I think I could imagine doing this. Now, speaking of this, I wanted to ensure that this habitat stays as natural as possible and they get as much privacy as they can. Now, this habitat is one of the very single ones that are not connected to any pathway at all. We only have 2 balconies that are giving the guest a new glimpse into the habitat. So the one being the higher up one, which is more or less like an outlook for Yosemite in general, which in my mind is a remainder of the time where this only has been a natural reserve rather than a zoo. So they kept this and put that one in. And then we have the balcony that was initially built for the lynx habitat. Now, as we don't have a lynx and as we have a cougar now, it makes a lot of sense to bring this in. You can see this over here though is another little idea to bring in the guests in a very nice way. These things are very common in zoos when it comes to big cats and when it comes to lions and tigers. They love to have these little viewing holes or viewing domes or viewing glass domes, however you want to call them, in the middle of the habitat. So they would use potentially one-way glass so that the animals can't see it, or sometimes it's even hidden in a big boulder, that it looks like a big boulder for the animals, and they don't really get that this is for guests. I wanted to make this one a bit more obvious and style that in the way that it looks a bit more closely to Yosemite. However, the tunnel, I won't show this off because it's not done yet. I will do this tunnel off screen when I fancy doing this, maybe in a live stream, because that's just a ton of work, a ton of tedious little work that is really not enjoyable for a time lapse, and it's not enjoyable for anything else than maybe a live stream where we can talk and, you know, talk some weird stuff before whatever, you know, because it just doesn't make any sense. Now, unfortunately though, I have to tell that again, you've heard that from the beaver habitat. Same things happened here. I lost some footage, which I'm very sorry for, because this was another hour of footage. I lost in total 4 hours of footage because I recorded in the wrong resolution. I did a little test and I lowered down my resolution of my recording software to upload that really quickly, because it was only just a tech demo thingy with someone else and I just wanted to show something off. And because of all the stress and I just wanted to binge record in the evening, I just jumped in the game and recorded everything, and I forgot to change the resolution again. So what happened is everything was recorded in 420p. Now, this is just this is just obviously not even close to what I could have used. You know, 720p, I might have thought of integrating that and just tell you that the performance is shitty, and you know, but it still would have been somewhat enjoyable. But, you know, for 460 or 420, just not doable, not at all. It's just like a pixel war. Whatever, this is how it ended up, and you will get a big tour then, you know, today, just to make sure to make up for it again. But there are a couple of more habitats coming, so that's really cool. And I think this one in particular, I can't decide, because all of the habitats are going to be great. And my favorite one is going to be the prairie dog, which you guys haven't seen yet, but you will see these coming days. A little reminder, if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. There are a couple of more coming, and the prairie dog is really my favorite. And there's something I tried and it worked out and it's so amazing. But this one really is actually fighting for the second spot. The beaver habitat obviously is also very great, but you guys do decide, okay? Please let me know at the very end of all the Yosemite habitats which is your favorite one from the new animals. But yeah, I think we don't need to talk about that this is a perfect fit, that this DLC is like the one DLC that could have easily been called Yosemite Valley for Rudy DLC, because that is just like every animal fits in. Even though the Arctic fox will not make it in here, I'm very sorry for that, but it just does not fit 100% in the style of Yosemite as it is right now. So I will make a one-off build for the Arctic fox, which is coming, I don't know when exactly. I haven't even done this yet, so might come these days. So yeah, this is mostly it regarding the speed build. We are nearing already the completion of the first part of the speed build. Second part obviously is lost. I'm so sorry for that, but I think, you know, you guys want to see the final result, and I think, you know, since that is in, it's all good. But now, I talked you through the idea, I talked you through the overall habitat design. We have this little water flow in the middle, and we've got a little waterfall at the end, which again you won't see, but you will see it in the final tour. And we've got a couple of trees and stuff. I am very pleased with the habitat. Let me know in the comments down below if you like the habitat as well. If I did forget anything, if you want to see something else in the habitat, or if you have got some ideas, and also what do you think about the location? Are you happy with the location of it? Thank you guys so much for your ongoing support. As always, if you want to support a bit more, you can actually become a member, by the way. The member option is lowered down to 99 cents. So if you want to do this, you can become a member. You can use some of the emotes, and you can see some behind the scenes screenshots. What a word. I will start putting more of these out again. I said if we have 30 members, I will start doing this to really give this a meaning. And we are very close to that. So if you guys want to support, button is somewhere on YouTube. If you want to find it, you find it, you know. Thank you guys as always for the support, and now enjoy the last couple seconds of the time lapse and enjoy the tour. It's cool. Stay with me. It's a very good tour. Thank you so much, and see you at the other side of the cut. Hello, here we are in the real-time part, and oh boy, this is the third time that I'm actually recording this, because the first two times I unfortunately did not record my sound or my voice. So I don't know, I'm preparing so much here before my holiday and just before the release, and we've got early access, which is great to prepare stuff, but it's all very stressy because we also need to prepare for holidays. And yeah, so I'm sorry, but I will include some of the cool scenes from the first tour in the end of the video, because I just certainly had some very cool occasions or like things happening during the tour. Anyways, we are going to go now to the Cougar Lookout number 1, and this is when you go in the big cat house. This is where the toilets are located, but we go to the left hand side. We do need some signage and stuff. That's stuff I'm going to do at the very end, and then we go up here and you are greeted by this insane view of Half Dome, which is great. And then you can have like a little glimpse into the cheetah habitat if you fancy doing so, and then you can go further and there's like a little sun terrace where you can sit down. There's got a little restaurant area on top there if you want to go there. You've got some more views of the Siberian tiger. But if you go to the left hand side, this is our brand new area for the Cougar. It used to be one of the modded areas, but that is now not the case anymore. This is the Cougar Habitat. Oh boy, this looks so cool. Like when you have the view from on top here. And this is basically where you are greeted with this insane view into the Cougar Habitat. And I'm just so happy with how that turned out. You've got this wonderful view. You can see there's a train stopping by, or like coming by. Actually, it's not stopping, but it's actually driving by, and you can have this wonderful view inside of the Cougar Habitat. I can't even spot any one of those. I don't know if they are sleeping or whatever. As I said, this is always the same. You do one tour and everything is perfect. The animals, like, they do exactly what you want, and then you do like a second tour and no one is actually around. But again, as I said, we will have some footage because the first tour was simply amazing. Now, if we go here to the right hand side, there is basically the Siberian tiger habitat, which will get a diving area for the Siberian tiger. I hope it's gonna look great. I hope I can do it in the way I want to, and I want to actually raise this entire habitat to a spot that the people from over here have a nice view. So you have two different areas. We might need to raise the fence then a little bit. Well, we'll see. They can see one of the tigers coming, at least one animal, not the one we wanted to see though, but yeah. So this is it. Now I would suggest that we first of all talk about these two empty spots over here. So if you guys want to be part of this Yosemite Valley and want a little dedication, you can snap some screenshots today from the video and then create a education board. Send this to me via email or in the Gilded server if you want. The link is down below in the description. You find my email address on my channel, or you just use the one rudy.rancampbell@googlemail.com. I would really love to include your design in here, and the two best designs will be featured in here with a little dedication, and we will also name the animals after you. So that would be my little offer to you. I would really love to include something from you guys, and again, take some screenshots from today's episode, from the animals or from the building process. I don't know, you make some creative stuff. This is what we want to see. But now let's jump into the viewing spot down there, because this is the next thing we need to do. So I'm just going to a little cut because otherwise it's going to take too long, and we see each other in the viewing spot. We are in here, guys, and we are finally lucky. There is one of the cougars just coming over for us, and I didn't wait for it. I just ran here and I saw the cougar being here, and oh my god, look at that. It's running over here right into the river. The other one is just sleeping over here. There you can see it, but this one is now swimming over, and it's pretty cool. Like in the footage that I had from the other tour, we had one climbing up this tree over here right in front of us. I'm going to include that one at the end. It looked so cool, like the animations, everything. It looked really gorgeous, and I'm really happy that they included a bit of a different climbing for the cougars. They are like fancy quick going up the trees, like a lot quicker than all the other big cats, which is just like cool because they're like very good climbers. And yeah, I don't know if they changed it maybe for jaguar as well or so, but yeah, this is what we can see over here. I did not include the pathway into this viewing spot, which goes here into the tunnel, because the tunnel is not done yet. It's gonna take months until I'm done with this one. I'm just kidding, but it's gonna take a long time until I'm done with this. One little bit of criticism here, but this is not really on my build, it's more on Frontier. I really hope they can change the glass pieces. I'm not really the biggest fan of how these glass pieces look when they are merged together. Like, I somehow get why you need this little bit of thickness, but on the other hand side, this looks very wrong and weird indeed. I was trying to use some other pieces, but then it also didn't look good. And honestly, at this point, I would actually go for like netting or so instead of glass, even though glass would be nicer. But I think netting would, or mesh at least, would look a lot greater, I guess, a lot better than this. I wanted to do it that way because like glass would be the way to go. But yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of how this all works out with like merging them together with this weird shadowing in between. So at this point, I really would love to get back our wonderful old glass pieces from Planet Coaster, which moved together, just look like one plane. That would be great. Have you seen that little jump? That was finally something that looked, well, kind of good though. So yeah, this is this viewing spot over here, but we have one last viewing spot we need to go to, and this is, yeah, the next one. I'm going to cut a little quick again, so you can see that, oh, hello. Look at that different pattern that one has. I love that one. This is a lot more desaturated. Anyways, I'm getting distracted because it's just looking too good. Oh, look at this. I love the Cougar. I love the Cougar so much. It easily became my favorite big cat. And the good bit is, with every update that includes a big cat, this is going to be my favorite big cat. So they do a good job. They do a very good job in bringing the better cats in. But at this point, we definitely need also a rework of the West African lion. I have the feeling that they still suffer a little bit from the fact that this was the first animal, like the very first animal they did, at least it feels like, and it was not really the style they are going for right now. So I hope that at some point they will make a little remake of them. Anyhow, let's go over to the last viewing spot. Alright, I climbed the hill and now we are here on this viewing terrace, which I made actually to have a better overview of the cheetah habitat when it was still very big. Before we have a look into the cougar or puma habitat, we have a little look here. This is where the cheetah habitat is, and one thing I wanted to talk about is when I was making the little planning, and you guys gave me some insane feedback on this, there was a bit of a discussion going on if we put the cougars here or if we put them between the grizzlies and the jaguar, or if we even put it in the jaguar canyon and put the jaguar over here. Now, I thought about that a long time, but at the end of the day, I looked at the cheetah habitat and I was just kind of figuring it is still way too big in the old version as it was. So I think splitting it into two habitats at a first is the best idea ever. That was very much needed. But then getting in with the cougar here, I think is the best idea because we could give them like a way more natural habitat and a way more integrated one into the big cat area. And I think the jaguar located very close to tropical domes makes more sense because it's a tropical dome. I think that I will do a rework of the jaguar still because I have a feeling we can do something better with them. But yeah, so at this point, this is the viewing into the cougar habitat. And I think with all the different viewing spots now that we have, this is one of the best habitats in terms of viewing balance. We do have this one terrace over at this point, which we can't see right now because there's the tree in our sight. Then we do have this wonderful glass dome in the center, which gives you the up close look to the cougars in an area which I think they will be most likely roaming around because that's at the back of the habitat where they can go away from the nasty views of the people here, so they can hide away also from the noise and stuff. So they would technically be here quite a lot, I think, in real life, and so this makes sense. And then we have this viewing spot over here, this high up terrace, which gives you a wonderful overview of the entire habitat in context of this area, and I'm very sure that this is exactly how it should be. Now, as to end this episode, we are just going to do a little flyover so you can see where exactly it's integrated. And now this entire area has been the cheetah habitat, and now looking at it from this view gives me the feeling that it was the best idea ever to make this a separate habitat and just split them into two. But because still, look at how big the cheetah habitat is. I mean, they still have a lot of space to run around. They still have their enrichment item in the custom one. I would love to see such a thing in this game at some point. But yeah, they have this wonderful viewing from over here, and then because you can't see the cougars and they have to be, you know, separated by a hard fence because they shouldn't see each other, you have the cougar habitat on this side. And I think it really, the integration works super well. And then we've got the Siberian tiger on this side, which has this interesting habitat that is going to have this U shape around the snow leopard. And so this whole side houses 4 different big cats, while this is the gigantic lion habitat, which again, I thought briefly about changing this into the cougar habitat, because the cougar would be the lion that is living in here, but or the mountain lion, as the cougar is also called. But yeah, no, at this point, I think I'm very, very happy with how this all turned out, and I'm very happy with how this habitat looks. I hope you guys are too. Please let me know in the comments down below how you like this habitat, how you like the cougar habitat. Do you think this is the best location we can use, and do you think that this is something you would also want to visit in real life? So that would be amazing. And if you guys like the content, if you want to see more, and if you want to support me completely for free, consider subscribing if you haven't already, because I still see over 40% of people watching my stuff on regular basis are not subscribed. So what are you doing? It's free, and let me be one of your 164 YouTube accounts in your list, so that I'm finally in your feed that is actually already way overcrowded with other stuff. No, I'm just kidding, but that would be amazing, guys. I would be more than happy while we have a wonderful jump here to the right hand side. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys stay safe, and I talk to you in the next one. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.